Hello to everyone, this is Vishal, and again we are in new session related to the Kotlin multi-platform. But before that, we need to think about that. What is that Kotlin multi-platform, and what's the difference between your Kotlin multi-platform mobile? Okay, so there's a confusion between that. What exactly be the KM and what is the KMM? So today we discuss about that, and also as we are working with our old sessions related to the coroutines and other charts also. So on meanwhile, because of many comments I have seen that they want to start that to please make a videos on the KMM, so that I started today. And we work with all sessions together, means in all lines. So for that pipeline means related to the chart, we also move that one by one on that sessions, plus this sessions we have to continue that with other sessions. So we'll start it, but first we need to uh, clarify this, what's exactly with the KM and what is the KMM. So that is not very important, otherwise it get confusion on you. So today we see this is practical, small practical, and also we discuss the theory about that for the basic functionality. And with this we can add many sessions to continue that, and we learn in all areas of KM. So now we started, but before that, I'm giving thanks to you for your lovely comments, and whatever be the requirement, I really read that, and want to fulfill as I get a time for you. Okay, so we'll start it, and we'll see the agenda of the day. That's we need to work with the Kotlin multi-platform and Kotlin multi-platform mobile. So first we discuss about that what is the KM. And as you know that Kotlin is a boom nowadays, but it's my approach or my scenario that Java is always be the base for uh, here. But the Kotlin is we can make as an a very less code oriented, and we can give in a, or we can achieve the things in the easiest way. But in many functionality on many areas, still we need a Java. Okay, but as we are doing with the Kotlin sessions, so we can start it with the Kotlin. And first we discuss about that KM. So the Kotlin multi-platform technology is designed to simplify the development of the cross-platform projects. It reduces time spent writing and maintaining the same code, and for different platforms while retaining the flexibility and benefits of native programming. So the very in a very small lines, or we can say that in a very short, we can say that the Kotlin multi-platform technology is designed to simplify the development. And where we need it, we need it where we have a cross-platform project. So we discuss about that. What's that exactly? So if you say that we'll discuss about that with the use cases. Okay, so KMM, we can say it is a part of KM, because of KM has a lot of varieties first, and in one of the use case, the KM is, we can say, one of the functionality of that KM. So that means if we talking about the KM, we have to work with a multi languages there, multi platforms be there, and we can use that in different areas. Like first we discuss about, whenever we discuss about the Android and iOS applications, we're talking about the KMM. So KMM is for the mobile versions, and at this time KM that be the launch, so that means we started with the beta versions, but I think we make it finalize it. So if you say that where you will create applications for the Android and iOS, that includes some modules. So KM is a part of KM. KMM is a part of KM. That is the most important point. And where we need it, as we say that in Android iOS applications, the second scenario we can say that the full stack web applications also we can use this. And other scenarios when a code sharing maybe bring benefits is connected applications where the logic can be reused and the both the server and the client approaches. So that means we can use Kotlin multi-platform as well in client server approaches where we have a full stack web applications also. In the future we also create a sessions on this one. And we're talking about that the multi-platform libraries. So the Kotlin multi-platform libraries, that is also be useful library authors. You can create a multi-platform library with a common code and its platform specific implementations for the JVM, sorry, JS and the native platforms. Okay, so that means we need it, we can use this. So these areas at this time I'm just giving a small definitions, but we learn one by one practically all these stuffs. And common code for mobile and web applications, so that's also be, that means here I'm talking about mobile and web applications, not I'm saying about the Android and the iOS. I'm talking about common code for mobile and web applications. Like if you say that in your flutters, what we did, that if there is a website, we can implement that websites in an easy way in a flutters as an and as in a mobile approach. So we can say that the one more popular case of the using Kotlin multi-platform is sharing the same code. Like you create your functionality or a code on that, so you can use it in your websites and your mobile applications also. So it reduces the amount of business logic coded. So I think a lot of advantage whenever you work with this. Okay. And if we're talking about that, how this multi-platform works. So we can say that a noisy approach, the common Kotlin includes the languages, core libraries, basic tools, and the code written in the common Kotlin works everywhere on all the platforms. With the Kotlin multi-platform libraries, you can reuse the multi-platform logic in the common and the platform-specific code. So common code can really a set of libraries that covers everyday task, like your HTTP serializations and managing coroutines. What I'm saying, managing coroutines. So I already shared the coroutine sessions before that. That is very important. We have to work with this. So everywhere that coroutine be works here in KM also. So that means multi-platforms we can use this also. So what we say that the common Kotlin includes the language, core libraries, and the basic tools, and the code written in the common Kotlin works everywhere. In every platforms we can use this. Okay. And task we covered, that is the we have to manage the coroutines, we are using the HTTP, we have a serialization, these all we can do everywhere. And if we talk about interop with the platforms, use of platform specific versions of the Kotlin. So we have a Kotlin JVM, Kotlin JS, and the other. So that means we can work like this. And therefore these platforms you can access the platform native called JVM, JS, and the native. So here what I'm talking about that before, Java is the base, like the same we can say that. So JVM is Java virtual machine, so we can use that on the natives. Okay, so there also be that native capabilities we can say. So here you can see that's very simple structure is or architecture is simple Kotlin, common Kotlin we have. If you want to work with the Kotlin native, so you can do that. Kotlin VM, JVM, so you can work there, and Kotlin JS, so you can work on that. And on the outside, that means on the outer layer, if you want to discuss about, there is a native code, there is a JVM code, and there is a JS code. So JS code approaches to the Kotlin with the JS and work like that. If a native code works with the native, that we are working as in Android, so that is our native. Okay. So if we're talking about the JVM code, so that is working with the Kotlin JVM. So that's we have. So that is a common platform. We can use that everywhere. So whenever you work with the website, whenever you work with Android apps, whenever you work with the iOS, so there is a functionality we can work over all that criteria we have covered. That is called simple KM, Kotlin multi platform. And if you want to specific work with your mobile applications, so we can say KMM. So that's called your Kotlin multi-platform mobile. Okay. So that is the difference we need to first contrast on that. So as discussed already that code sharing between the platforms with the Kotlin multi-platform spend less time on writing and maintaining the same code, share code among all platforms used in your project, and the share code among same platforms. So, if you're talking about the KM, and we can say that it's used for also in server-side programming. So, Kotlin is a great fit for developing server-side applications. That's we can say Kotlin multi-platform. That is the one more advantage of this. It allows you to write a concise and expressive code while maintaining the full compatibility with existing Java-based technology stacks. So again, we can say it is Java based technologies stacks, and all with a smooth learning curve. So that means if we can say server, so server sides, we can also create an applications with the KM. So that means your REST APIs and others, we can do that. I will describe you in my coming sessions how you can do that. So that means we are on full mode of KM. So that means we can do um, work on every area in Kotlin in my coming sessions. So here we can say expressiveness. So that means Kotlin's innovative language features such as sports, type safe builders, delegated properties, scalabilities. So that means we have already worked with the coroutine helps build side server side applications that scales to massive numbers. So that means as we have done in our previous sessions with the coroutine how it works. So that means so the same we can build the APIs on the Kotlin also and then get the data in uh, Android applications. So that means everywhere we have a KM. So for that we have some languages we can use for the server side, and we have interoperability, we have a migrations, we have a tooling. So these all we have a learn, but not at this time. We'll discuss later. And learning curves, these all. Okay. Uh, yeah. So if we say that core frameworks of server-side development with the Kotlins, we can use the Springs. Okay, we have a word.x and we have a Ketor. So that means Ketor is a very good framework nowadays. We used in the server-side applications, and sure, I will take a one class or a one session later to that Ketor, and we can use this. Okay, so that means how we can build the APIs on that. But for this, we need to purchase. So I will describe you how we can do these all. And maybe in the futures, maybe they give it as a free, but will nowadays it take some cost on that. So Kotlin, that we can say it, Kotlinux and that HTML that we can work, and these all. Okay, and we have Micronaut, so that's also be. So these all we have to work with, and deploying the Kotlin server-side applications. So the Kotlin applications can be deployed in any host that supports the Java web application simply, like in Amazon. We have a Google Cloud platform, and anywhere you can use that. Okay, you can build that. And Kotlin for Android, we already know how we can work with, and that the key features we already discussed previously. That means less code, mature language environment, and Kotlin supports an Android Jetpack and other libraries. So we have extensions, and these all we already discussed. That means, yeah, one more thing, that is multi-platform development, in which we can create iOS. So that means you can use a Kotlin for developing not only Android but also the iOS. That is the main feature we have to work on in coming sessions also will describes. And today I also create that a simple build on that, how we can make that simple program on that Android and iOS. Code safety, easy learning, big community. So these are a lot of stuffs we have to learn in our conversation. That as we discussed the diagram on that, the Kotlin for JavaScripts, how we can use that. So one more lecture for that. So we have to work in every area. That means on the native to your server side, means everywhere. Also we work with the JS, we work with the Ketor. So these all we have to work. So we'll discussed, that means I will create sessions for that, different sessions for that, so we can touch these all stuffs. And also very big advantage we can say, and boom advantage, because of as we are working with the data science nowadays, and data science is much popular. So we are also create that applications or work on the data science with the Kotlin. Okay, so the Kotlin is concise, readable, and easy to learn. The static typing and null safety helps create real, reliable and maintainable code that's easy to troubleshoot. So these all we have to learn, and Kotlin gives you the great performance on the ability to leverage an entire ecosystem. So the try and true Java library. So that we have to learn, and these all I will describe you that for the KMM. Now, first approach or first area we have to catch, that is called introductions KMM. So as I told you, the KMM is a part of KM. So that means Kotlin multi-platform mobile. It is an SDK. Simply, what is that? It is a SDK, nothing else. And they provide you, you can just use that in your Android Studio and learn it, or make a simple applications, so in which you can distribute the code as in for the iOS and for the Android, both the but I will describe you some UI part how you can handle on the iOS. But first we discuss the Android part. Okay. So the common use case for the Kotlin multi-platform mobile include implementing a native UI or working with the platform specific APIs. So the Kotlin multi-platform in a simple language, it is an SDK for iOS and Android app development simply. So here our approach is KMM, and it offers all the combined benefits of creating the cloud cross platforms native apps, and it is trusted in the productions by the many world's leading companies nowadays. That means that already created Philips, Netflix, Liorim, Marlin, and VMware. So these companies already started work on that, or I think some creations also be done. So that is, and if you say that in a other language or other definitions, a technology that allows developers to share the logics of iOS and Android. Simply, we can say that. And the purpose of the Kotlin multi-platform mobile technology is unifying the development of the applications with a common logic. Like we can say that if we go with the Flutter or Reactive, so these all we already work with both the platforms, but here is a good advantage of the KMM we have to work. And I told you very, I mean, when I started the Kotlin on that sessions, native Kotlin, that it's a very similar to like in the Swift. So in iOS, so that means if we compare both the languages, so we can easily do the codes on that. And here we have a great multi-project mechanisms. Okay, and we can say that here very simple examples. We have a root project and Kotlin Gradle. So here we can share the modules, nothing else. What is the concept behind that? Where we have a Android, we have a iOS. So what we do, we just simply share the code by the Gradle. So there we can create simply a Kotlin Gradle. Kotlin Gradle means here we have a Kotlin Gradle, but for the iOS we have a Swift Xcode simply. So this is our root project and this simple structure on that. And how we can share, this is our shared application. So I will describe you. And the iOS application is produced from an Xcode project. It is stored in the separate directory within the root project, so you can learn on that, or any changes you can do that. And shared modules contains the core application logic used in both Android and iOS target platform. So classes, functions, and so on. But these things you have to learn practically, that I will describe you one by one. Okay. So that's a simple scenario of KMM. So that we need that multi-platform versions. We need a plugin, so that I will describe you on how you can install that. So there are many sessions, but we have to learn from very scratch, so you have to do. And here we have a testing also. We can do that with the KMM for the both applications, like your common test for the application. We have an Android separate test, we have a iOS separate test. So that's very good uh, scenario behind the architecture, so that we can do. So there we have iOS framework and likewise. But before that, how we can start, how we can create that multi-platform use cases on that. So at this time, I just drop it this third part, and we'll start some practical on this. So first, what we discussed, simply one more time, we have a simple agenda, that is what is a KM and what is a KMM. Under the KM, here we have a multi-platform technologies. So first you get differentiation between that. KM, under the KM we have a lot of scenarios or lot of use cases, like your web applications, yeah, your multi-platform libraries, your Kotlin multi-platform mobile. We have to also work with the server side. We have to work with your that means in every area we have to work on that. So that means these structures we have to learn on that. So under that a part, or a simple, we can say a variety or a use case, so that is called your KMM. Okay, so that's a simple SDK that we have to learn. So this is a very simple scenario or conclusion that I want to describe you today, so that you have to learn. Simple, very simple, because of you don't get confused. So now we start this KMM, and how you can start the project we'll discuss in a Android Studio now. And I will describe you these things on in a Mac also in my coming sessions. Okay, so first we'll discuss in here, that means in the window platform, for this Android, how we can start that, and what be the simple Gradles work in it. So let's see. Okay, so here you can start the new project from, so whatever be your, and you just go for that, and you can see that here we have Kotlin multi-platform app and Kotlin multi-platform library. So you can choose that Kotlin multi-platform app. If you don't see this, so you just go for the plugin and install that. So that's very easy. So if you go for simply, we can say Kotlin multiple mobile. Okay, so multi-platform mobile. Okay, so here you can see that it's give you the two application name, different application name. So if you want to change your application names, you can just go for here, and also here you can see that share module name. So that's a very important basic concepts behind this. And here you can say that iOS framework distributions behave. So here we have a Cocoa Pods dependency manager. So if you have worked with the iOS, so you know about that, what is the Cocoa Pods and this regular framework. So these all. So but at this time, we just, if you want to change the name, you can just give the names. I will describe you this in our coming sessions, but at this time you just go for a very simple um, uh, use case. So that is simply you can use that. Okay, and yeah, so once it's loaded, I will describe you that project structure of this. That is the most important part. And once it's done, I will also describe you, if you don't see that KMM, how you can use that from tools, or to get the things be here. Okay, so we'll see. Okay, so after Gradle build completed, you can say that here we have a shared and these. But before that, because of as you started and there you can't see that on first time there is not KMM, so you just go for the settings here, and on the settings of that project here you can see the plugins. Okay, on that plugins you can just say KMM, so you can find it Kotlin multi-platform mobile. So this is already installed here. Okay, and the rest of the things will describe you one by one, but here first you have to install this Kotlin multi-platform mobile. So KMM, if this is installed, so that means otherwise you can install that simply, and can you can choose that project as I choose here, simply new project and just load that project. So here I just described the structure of this. So this is, if you go for the basic structure, is almost same here, but here you can see that shared, that is very important. So here you can see that we have Android test release, test fixtures, we have a debug, we have a release, we have a common main. Here you can see that this is the common main, and common test we have. Now we have for the iOS this complete. And if you go for this here, so these all with the manifest, how we can work with this is our Gradle. So this is all we have, but let's see what be the Gradle on that. So if you go for this Gradle, yeah, simply we have nothing in it. This is for Android, this is native Cocoa Pods, that means for the iOS. Okay, so this is your base name shared, we can share this code to iOS, and the simply they were target and like this stuffs. Okay, so we'll describe you how it works on that cases. Okay, okay, and anything we have, nothing. So yeah, simply, so this is mainly we have to work with this shared structure, so that is an important part. And iOS main here, yeah, the main Android, yeah, this is your platform, what you need. Okay, so nothing important in it. Okay, so this is a simple, they can simplify, that's different. They create a different structure folders for the shared, so how we can use that. But these all not a simple steps, we can understand it when we work on that. Okay, likewise this for the iOS simulations, like how it works with the version here. Yeah, so these all we have to work, but at this time we just go for our simple resource file, and this is our layouts and this is our activity. So you are just doing the same, whatever be the code structure in it, you just run that. But the how we can share it in iOS, that we have to learn. So in this session we just stop this. You just learn this theory part basically, and create this a simple structure project on that and check the libraries on the share. This is our first. Now in my coming sessions I will describe you this project and how we can handle the things in iOS. So these all we have to learn. So how we can share these things, how we can run these things, so these all we have to work in this. Okay, so this is a very simple structure. So okay, so that's a simple KMM is starting on that today, and we go for at least 10 to 12 sessions in it, and also beside that we have to learn the server side programming. So these all we will work one by one. So thank you for today. Just learn the basic things now, and then we'll go for complex things on that. So first you learn this stuff. Okay, so thank you so much. Thanks a lot for that.